Good morning, America's patriots, fellow Christians. Well, I just happened to catch a conversation between Laura Ingraham of the Fox News Network and one of her, I don't know if she still is, TOMI Lahren. Used to be a Fox News contributor. Not sure if she's got her own podcast now, but they had this conversation the other day. And it just goes to show you that feminism is still amongst the conservative party, among women, as well as the church. Because feminism with conservative women is really no different than with the liberals. The only two things they really disagree on is abortion, thank goodness for that at least, and this whole LGBT XYZ I'm offended movement, to which I'm also grateful. But in a lot of ways, these conservative women really want nothing to do with the liberal feminists, even though they're really no different. They want to separate themselves from them and say feminism has destroyed us, but when you hear people like TOMI Lahren speak, she sounds no different than the rest of them. She really doesn't. And it seemed like this conversation she had started out as a joke and it turned into something really, really serious. To the point where TOMI Lahren said, there aren't a lot of good men for us women to choose out there. They're very slim pickings. She's going to say that they've got to go home, live in mommy's basement, play video games, and order DoorDash. The problem is, she spoke out of her ass on that one. And this is not the first time TOMI Lahren has done this. She says, women want masculine men. They want to be led. They want families. They want this. They want that. Okay, what TOMI Lahren is really not saying is, basically, she wants masculine obedience. In other words, she wants the man to lead as long as the man does it her way. She wants to provide and protect her as long as he does it her way. Now, TOMI Lahren is married to an ex-baseball player, J.B. Abrincida. Retired baseball player. I think he's now a Fox baseball commentator. So they're both millionaires. I mean, I think he's worth 1.8. She's worth about $3 million. They've been married for a while. And ironically, TOMI Lahren is 32 years old and has 0 kids. She brags about a chihuahua, though. Typical modern feminist. They put more love into an animal than they do their own kids or lack of kids and probably their own husband. What TOMI Lahren won't tell you is that more women are on psych meds and antidepressants than ever before. Why? Because they're not happy. Don't get me wrong. There's some unhappy men out there, but it's for different reasons. Women celebrate TOMI Lahren because they choose to be, and they actually think this is the better option for them. Even though this goes against Genesis, right in the first book, when he says it wasn't right for man to be alone, so he created a partner. And I'm sure TOMI Lahren may speak one way, but she's not a Proverbs 31 woman by any means. Because when TOMI Lahren was on the Piers Morgan show, she was one of 4 in that panel, and one of the men named Andrew Wilson, who's real good. Replied to her comments says, men are supposed to be providers and protectors. This is what real men do. And Andrew Wilson last goes, oh, like we need a woman that tells us what a real man is. And he answered the question, and it was a legit question, which she didn't answer. What are the duties women have to men? And TOMI Lahren had this disgusted look on her face like, I can't believe he asked me that. And she didn't answer the question. She basically said women have no duties. Women need to provide, protect, and give structure and not accept anything back. This is your typical modern woman today, your typical feminist. And this is the same woman that tell you there's slim pickings out there because men do not want to be married. Not to this crap anyway. Men have turned their back on relationships and marriage because they'd rather have their peace and serenity and freedom and hang out with the guys and build their worth and enjoy their hobbies than be with someone who's combative, disobedient, not appreciative, spoiled, and entitled. Now, years ago, Tomi Lahren went on at Twitter at the time, and she went off on men. Now, because she was employed at the time, I think, by Fox News and other people, I'm taking a lot of people in those organizations did not like what she had to say. Because a few nights later, she came back on, all sweet and nice and apologetic, and tried to backtrack on a lot of the crap she said. Tomi Lahren, there are plenty of good men out there. The problem with these women is they want a traditional man. But in order for a traditional man to work with them, they had to be a traditional woman, and Tomi Lahren isn't. She wants a lapdog. She didn't want a husband. She wants masculine obedience. And that's not how masculinity works. Like I said, you go look at the reaction when Andrew Wilson challenged her. I mean, she didn't know what to say. She says, we don't owe men nothing. Basically, that's what she said. Women are to show up, and that's it. Look pretty. The problem is, honey, as you get older, your looks disappear. And then what do you have left? A combative, argument, unappreciative woman who's past her prime. And this is something that people like Tomi Lahren don't realize. They may control the sexual market and the dating market, but men have the relationship card and have the time card. Men can start a family in their 50s and be okay. Women can't do that. And as Tomi Lahren says, well, women want children, and she has that at 32. She's approaching the danger zone to geriatric pregnancy. And I find it hysterical when some covert feminists like Tomi Lahren, because that's what she is, and Laura Ingraham was nodding her head the same way, so she's no different. They want to have their cake and eat it too. They want it all and not do anything but show up. And this is what you see a lot in these generational Z people, which she trusts Generation Z men big time. Tomi Lahren, not for nothing. The reason why you were so popular is because you were very bold on your beliefs, but on feminism, you failed grossly. And because you are cute, you're pretty, you got pretty privileges. Not for nothing, Tomi Lahren may think she's a 10, she isn't. She's a 6. She's a 6. Maybe done out real nicely, maybe a 6.5, but she's an average looking girl. There's nothing wrong with that. But she's just many of these conservative feminists out there who are covert, who are in many ways worse than the feminists, because at least the feminists come out and tell you what they're like. They'll tell you straight to your face. The problem with liberal feminists is they want masculine men, but the problem is liberal men are masculine. So once again, they don't believe in their own policies. They don't like the results of their own policies. And Tomi Lahren, until you start having kids and you raise them, not by a nanny, because that don't count. You're no different than a lot of these entitled modern women, which people in the end of generation Y, Z, and Alpha are going to turn their nose up and walk away from. To the men of generation Z, the end of the Y and the Alpha, you guys got it rough. And I'm telling you right now, you guys have to turn the table on these women. And build your wealth, stay out of debt. Make yourself look as attractive as you can be. Build up your investments, get yourself a house, put it in a trust where no woman can take it away from you. Unfortunately, this is what it's become now. You have to turn the tables on them. Because the tables are turning and they don't like it. They don't like being ignored. They can't stand the fact they're not getting attention. Comments down below. What's your opinion like to know? Keep the country in prayer. May this country come back to the values of Jesus Christ, because like every other empire, this empire will fall eventually. And why? The same reason why the Greeks and Romans, the Babylonians, and the Persians did. And the Europeans. They turned their back on Jesus Christ. God bless you all. We'll talk to you later.